I've been itching for some Golden State Warriors basketball, especially since they were on such a hot streak before the NBA All-Star break. So if you guys are feeling the exact same thing I am, all you guys have to do to show the Golden State Warriors some love and let them know we're ready for some Dub Nation basketball is like this video. What's going on, Dub Nation? Welcome into Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Allie Barefoot, and we are this close to having the NBA resume and start the second half of the season, which in my opinion is the best time of basketball for the NBA. So, before we get into the Warriors resuming their season, I do want to break down the most important players the Golden State Warriors need heading into the second half of the season because they are this close to finally really breaking that barrier between teetering on that 500 mark on the season. And I really want the Golden State Warriors to at least make the play-ins, if not make the playoffs in entirety. So I'm going to break down who's going to be the most important for the Golden State Warriors in order to do that on today's show. But Mike Dunleavy is not sleeping during NBA All-Star break, which is one of the main reasons why I love him as a GM. Look, he did actually sign Lester Quinones to a NBA standard contract yesterday. Lester was a two-way player. They had an open spot since letting go of Corey Joseph. And instead of going out to the market and getting somebody that probably wouldn't mesh well with the Golden State Warriors, they took somebody straight from the G League. He was a 2023 most improved player in the G League. He's been playing about 13 minutes for the Golden State Warriors, which isn't that much, but somebody that's been playing in a two-way, I'm really excited for him, and I think Lester is going to be a great addition, but that's just me. If you guys are glad the Warriors signed Lester, all you guys have to do to show him some love is going ahead and like this video as well. He's going to be playing for the Golden State Warriors on their official roster, which does mean he can play in the playoffs if the Golden State Warriors do make it there. So go on ahead and like this video while I break down what it's going to take for the Warriors to actually get over that hump and make it to the playoffs. So take a look at the Western Conference right now. The Golden State Warriors finally cracked the top 10. And I'm going to be honest, it took a while to get there, which is okay. They've had a lot of ups and downs. They've had to go through a lot of different transitions for this Warriors this year. But the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Clippers, they're dominating right now. The Nuggets kind of find their stride towards the playoffs. The Suns, I do believe the Warriors can compete with, as we have seen that in Steph Curry buzzer beater fashion. And then, of course, right there at 27 and 26, I'll take the winning record, but I want more. Can the Warriors make the play-in? I'm going to break down the top 10 most important players on the Golden State Warriors roster to help them in order to make the play-in. The top 5 is going to be a little bit crazy, in my opinion, just because the Warriors are really new this year. I know the Warriors fans have been really used to a lot of tradition the past decade with the trio running things in the Bay Area, but it's looking a little bit different this season. But I do think the Warriors are finally finding some sort of consistency, some sort of rhythm in order to get back on track and make the play-ins. Because did you guys know the Golden State Warriors have the 25th hardest remaining schedule in the NBA? There's only 30 teams in the NBA, which means they've got the 5th least hardest schedule left to go, which does give me hope the Warriors are going to pull this thing out. Hopefully pass a couple of teams, especially somebody like the Kings, who they've always had good competitions with. They're going to start the second half tomorrow night against the Los Angeles Lakers, so they need to start it out with the dub. Well, in order to do that, I'm going to put these 5 players on the back end of the most important players to help the Golden State Warriors make it into the playoffs. Moses Moody, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries here. He's also been the victim of Steve Kerr's rotation, which is unfortunate. Gary Payton II, he scares the shit out of me every time he touches the court because I don't know if he's going to get injured again, which is super unfortunate because Gary Payton brings spark, he brings life. Most importantly, he brings defense. Chris Paul, another guy that, look, he's 38 years old. He's got a lot of brackets right now in his hand from that hand surgery. And Chris Paul really just didn't push the needle for the Warriors as much as I thought he was going to when he did get there in the offseason. Kevon Looney has really fallen off in this rotation. He hasn't been as dominant of an anchor big in the post as much as I would want to see him do that. So hopefully Kevon Looney can move up in these rankings for the Warriors as time tells. And number 6. Klay Thompson as the 6th most important Golden State Warrior in order to make the playoffs. Unfortunately, this breaks my heart, but here's the thing. It's one thing called Father Time, which I do think is catching up with Klay Thompson. If you look at what he's done this season, out of the last 2 seasons, and of course in 2020, that was the second really big injury Klay Thompson has had. I'm not blaming him. I'm not saying these are bad numbers. They're just not the numbers that Klay Thompson has produced in the past in order to help the Golden State Warriors achieve as many rings as they did. Because think about it. It's been the Splash Brothers for a decade for a certain reason. It's because Klay Thompson has been able to produce just as much as Steph Curry has. Not as much, but at least a 20-plus point score alongside Steph Curry. He is posting career lows as he is hitting that 35 range. Plus, he's got a lot of external drama going on around Klay Thompson right now as well. Whether or not he's going to be traded, whether or not he's going to be re-signed, I should say, in the offseason. He's already declined an offer. Shams has already said Klay Thompson is looking to explore free agency, and now the Orlando Magic has been cited as a possible free agent destination for the veteran in the offseason. Klay Thompson has struggled mentally and physically on the Golden State Warriors court and on the bench this season, which really does make me believe that he could be washed. And unfortunately, I'm just going to go on and say it, Klay Thompson is washed, which is why he is the 6th most important player the Golden State Warriors have on their roster this season to make the playoffs. If you guys agree with me, type Y for yes, type N for no. But I do want to break down my pretty interesting top 5 most important Golden State Warriors to help them make the playoffs in the second half of this video. Because look, if you guys aren't playing Prize Picks right now, I don't know what you're doing. This is the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America for a reason. It is A, super fun to play, and B, it's extremely easy. I have been dying for the NBA to start again. I don't even know what to do with my nights anymore. But thankfully, it's not just NBA. They do have NHL, they've got MLS, they even have Call of Duty. I don't play video games. I'm not sure how you have Call of Duty on there, but Prize Picks has it, and it's still a lot of fun. If you guys want to make your picks for tomorrow night's NBA games, all you guys have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. And here is my Prize Picks for tomorrow night. I love Nick Claxton. I think he's a great rim protector. I'll have him having more than 10 rebounds. Tyrese Halliburton having more than 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists has been kind of a lock for me in these most recent games before the NBA All-Star break. And since they've been so far away from the NBA regular season in the past 7 days, I went on ahead and took a demon. That's a harder pick, but higher payout. That's Steph Curry having more than 6.5 3-pointers made, because I feel like Curry is going to go off tomorrow night. Once again, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100 and watch yourself win some real money in real time. Coming in at number 5, Mr. Andrew Wiggins. The #1 player the Golden State Warriors needed to have on defense last season has not been the same guy this year. That's not breaking news. That's not new news. You guys have all seen it. Look at his stats this year. 12.5 points per game. That's actually fallen since the beginning of the season. Or I should say the middle of the season as well. He used to be averaging about 16 points per game, and it's still going down. 4.5 rebounds per game. That's not the defense we normally have seen from Andrew Wiggins. 1.6 assists, and 45% from the field is not going to cut it. But if he's going to have a main role in the starting lineup for the Warriors, then his main job is to spread out the offense and contribute to off-ball defense. I believe Andrew Wiggins can still be a very good defender for a very not-so-good defending Golden State Warriors team, but I do think Andrew Wiggins, maybe not so much on ball, but if he does defend down on the wings, I think he could serve as an asset. Coming in at number 4, speaking of asset, Brandin Podziemski, one of my favorite players right now in the Bay Area. Why? Because he's a cocky SOB and he has swagger like I have never seen from a rookie. And that's what makes him great. Brandin Podziemski has nudged his way into the starting lineup, which I do believe he has deserved. His main job is to be the secondary scoring that Klay Thompson has been lack thereof. Unfortunately, Podziemski's only doing about 10 points per game. Scoring about 10 points per game. But he does other things, which I really love. Look at that guard. Look at that guard rebounding. 6 rebounds per game. Are you kidding me? If he continues to offensively crash to the board, Podziemski is going to shine in the second half of the season. And speaking of defense and rebounding, let's talk about Draymond Green, who I do have as the number 3 most important Golden State Warrior. Look, I know we've had a lot of issues with Draymond Green this year, more than we normally do, but I do think Draymond Green has served a huge purpose since he's returned from his suspension. Be the moderator between Jonathan Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins. For some known reason, these two professional basketball players suck when they play together. But if you put Draymond Green in the middle, it's like the trio we've never expected. I don't know how it works. I don't even know if they know how it works, but it's working. Draymond Green, I'm not so much worried about your points in the paint. I'm mainly worried about creating shots for Wiggins and JK and for you to defend. We all know how aggressive Draymond Green can be, and whatever Yusuf Nurkic wants to say, I don't want to hear it right now. Continue to play with aggression, but just do it moderately. Coming in at number 2, an unexpected number 2 that if I made this video in the offseason, Jonathan Kuminga may have been at number 8, but he has worked his way up to number 2 as the most important Golden State Warrior to help them reach the playoffs. Jonathan Kuminga has been phenomenal in almost every single aspect. If he is going to continue to play the way that he is, but in the last 5 games before the All-Star break, he was averaging 21 points per game for the Golden State Warriors. Continue to get buckets, man. If Podziemski is going to decide to focus on rebounding and assisting, then JK needs to be the second scorer. He also can defend all 5 possessions extremely well. Watch for that the next Golden State Warriors game. Jonathan Kuminga is doing so much off-ball defending that it's taking my eyes away from Steph Curry in terms of how he plays defense. So I want him to continue to get buckets as well. And I think he's going to be a crucial part of not just this season for the Golden State Warriors, but the future as well. Draymond Green did have a direct quote to Taylor Rooks saying, look, when I talked to Joe on the phone about possibly going out to get LeBron James, we were discussing what we would have to give up. He said, if it's Jonathan Kuminga, then the answer is no. If you have a veteran player like Draymond Green defending Jonathan Kuminga, a 21-year-old, you've got a freaking steal on your team. And coming in at number 1, shocker, 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 Mr. Steph Curry. Everybody knew he's going to be the most important player to lead the Golden State Warriors to the playoffs this season. And the only job I have for him is to just be Steph Curry. You can't teach what Steph Curry has, and we all know that. But I really have loved the assets he's created around him. Brandin Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, they are all going to help Steph Curry be the player that he needs to be in order to make 28 points or more a night. And the beautiful thing is, Steph Curry has shown no signs of slowing down. He's won numerous NBA Finals. He has contended for the NBA playoffs time and time again. Curry is averaging the most points per game by any player in their 15th season. If the Warriors make the playoffs, it all fully depends on Steph Curry. I want you guys to go ahead and rank your most important Warriors to make the 2024 playoffs. If you don't agree with my top 5, go ahead and comment down below. I want to hear your opinion as well. Go ahead and rank them 1 through 10. Let me know what the Golden State Warriors need in order to win. And while you guys are at it, if you guys enjoyed today's show, all you guys have to do is like this video. We're super close to having Golden State Warriors basketball back, so if you're excited, hit that thumbs up.